How are we going to do this? Is it welcome to Ralph now from Punting? So we're just two blokes crapping on, having a chat, and it's Darren Potter Race Assessments or RaceTrackRalphy.com.au, and we've been doing this for a while. The All Nations Hotel with Juppy, and now it's just the two of us at the moment. Anyone wants to join us, just join in, banner via the internet or anything else like that. How'd you see him at Caulfield Potts before we do race by race a bit later?
Yeah, we're still here, Ralphie.
Yeah.
You know, look, we're hardy types. We'll keep battling away. I'm sure there's a few people that won't be expecting information and entertainment today, but they're going to get it, hopefully.
Hopefully we'll do our best. Got no Melbourne scarf today because the dudes let us down with half a side. It is funny watching, I don't know if it's because, so I used to work in the footy media for a long time, so my job was to overreact every week because you create part of the hype, and now because obviously full-time in racing you try and be level-headed, you know. I don't know if it stands out more because of that, because now I'm outside the AFL, it's now my passion and my outlet, and racing is my full-time job. But the stupid overreaction in footy is just hilarious because Melbourne had half a side Friday night, we got beaten, and Sydney started the year with half a side, and they lost their first 6 games. Everyone said, what's wrong with Sydney? Well, they've got half a side. So yeah. You know. Well,
you know, it's an addiction in Melbourne. People, you know, just click on everything. They can't get enough of it. You know? Can't get enough footy. So
absolutely. But we'll try and do some racing.
Yeah, that's it. To answer your other question, Ralphie, wasn't my best work at Caulfield on Saturday. I had a small losing day with a full set.
Yep.
The Potts Play subscribers were happy because they had 3 betting races and there was 2 winning ones amongst them. But it was a good winning day at Sandown on Wednesday, and overall the week was really positive. So
well played.
How'd you go?
Had a big lead early with Lone Eagle, and then just slowly down. Found 2 monster traffic ones, Cosmic Lights and on Picarlo. On Picarlo would be nice, and one happened to be ridden by Craig Williams and one happened to be ridden by Bo Merton. So the stat that I found was Nikita Berryman. Who else rode a winner who doesn't normally
Brian Higgins.
And
Corey Parrish.
Corey Parrish was earlier in the day. Nikita Berryman, who's on Nesbo.
How quickly we forget.
Exactly. So the 3 legs of the quaddie, the combined win rides to winners this year, I said in the city, was 1 winner from 74 rides this year. Those 3.
I'll tell you why I can't remember who rode Nesbo, because when I was assessing that race, Data Point was still in it.
That's right.
So it really messed with my head that Data Point was scratched.
Yeah.
Like,
so
leave me at that. But the problem was when I saw Dean Grongold as a trainer, I just went, no, I'll just leave you aside, Nesbo. Anyway, and I feel it was a horse that was findable in that race, and I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I let one factor steer me away from a horse that could have been backed at, you know, a very big price.
Well, it won a terrible time. We'll go to
the race was terrible. It was going to be one at a terrible time. The race was terrible.
So, but the point being, what I found interesting was that I just put that out on Twitter after the last, and as I do, crap on, and people might want to bear with me or they might want to ignore me. It's up to them. But it's to highlight that we play the long-term game. You'll talk about staking later, but we play the long-term game and say, well, long-term, if you back Oliver and Williams and Mertens against those who aren't riding city winners, you will finish in front long-term, particularly at the better time of year. But this time of year, some of the lesser lights get their chance to put up their hand, and occasionally they'll ride winners and occasionally at very big odds, which is what happened there in 3 legs of the quaddie. It's not personal. What we're doing is factoring in long-term situations to say, well, long-term Bo Mertens, well, we think so. You think he's so, don't you?
Yes.
Yep. He's going to get it right. At the moment, with him and Williams riding for the premiership, they'll generally get it right. So there'll be days where 1 or 2, in this case 3 legs of the quaddie, were won by blowouts, and we just look at the stats and say, well, we're probably going to get that wrong because we're going to play the long-term game. It's not personal. What I found amusing was that Gavin Benchgold, who's a jump jockey, straight away goes, well, he didn't rip in, but he just said Brian Higgins rode a winner on Mornington, which was Queen's birthday. My South Coast database only has the 4 city venues. So I said, I retweeted it and said, yep, sorry, no. And the wave of support for Gavin Benchgold's fans going, oh, good on you, you stuck it up a bit more. Even if one slipped through the keeper, that makes it 2 wins from 74 rides down with 3 jockeys this year. But more to the point, all I was highlighting was that these people rarely ride a winner if they do ride a winner and you play a long-term game, you're probably better off not being with them. But good on them if they do. Is that how you look at it?
No, well, I think I'll probably look at jockeys slightly differently, but look, and I suppose because I assess the horse and what it can do with this rider on it, whatever, you know, I mean, it's just a subtle difference. But I think the thing with jockeys is that one of the key skills of being a top rider is getting the best rides. You know, the reason Craig Williams has been perennially at the top of the jockey premiership. Not only is he a good rider that works extremely hard, he gets himself on the best horses.
He's a good networker.
He's outstanding at it. And whoever's looking after Bo Mertens is doing a great job. So, you know, some of those other jockeys that we're talking about, they just don't get as many opportunities to win city races. But, you know, under the right circumstances, if they're on the right horse, they can get them home. So, you know, it's one of those vexed things. I try not to take too many fixed positions. If I think a horse is good enough, you know, I'm happy to back Nikita Berryman or Brian Higgins or whatever. I mean, I actually did end up saving on Radapole because he's a horse that it was only his third start in Australia. And the horse has got a lot of talent. He's just a bit mad, and he actually paraded much better on Saturday.
Okay.
So he wasn't off his head as much.
So I think one thing with that last winner, we'll talk about the race because we'll do that later, but I always say, ask yourself why a horse is this price. I think Radapole could easily have been 30 to 1.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was 15s and the 13s. And it was a race where they were guaranteed to fly. So I would say that they must have paraded better without you even saying that, because there must have been a reason for people saying, no, this horse is going to start running to his UK best while he hasn't been lately. And the good thing was he had been showing speed in those other two races. Which
that was part of the speed he'd been showing, Ralph, was because he'd worked himself so much in the mounting yard.
Right.
So he went out onto the track as a highly excited, you know, aroused animal, and like just couldn't and wanted to get on with it and go too quick. He was relaxed on Saturday.
Yes.
So he actually conserved some energy for the race, and when you watch him in the run, he actually, you know, he travelled in the run a lot better. He did throw his head around a little bit, but
and that probably was part of it being a brutal speed race.
Yeah.
So then it's easy to relax if you're going at your happy speed, but there's other horses in front of you. I think that's where I always take the piss out of it, but the all-important cover. I think that's where cover can be handy, not so much from a win point of view, because too many winners lead for it to be like cycling. It's bullshit. But some horses like relaxing with horses in front of them early. So if they're going at a happy speed, but horses are running fast in front of them, they're probably more likely to relax. And when you've had private conversations with jockeys, and I have too, that it's easy for us not easy, but we look at things purely from a numbers perspective, but they then factor in what the animal's doing, and if they can't hold it or they think it's a wrong decision to try and hold up, they'll let it run. Yeah.
Well, my thoughts are, again, probably a subtle difference in my thoughts to your thoughts, is that I think horses perform their best. You know, like obviously they've got to have the platform and the basis to do their best, but on the days where they are allowed to run naturally in the right position in the field, wherever that might be.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So when they're not being forced to go quicker than they naturally want to go, or they've been trained to go, or being restrained, I think they use more energy when they're being strained at below their natural rolling tempo. So I think they get, and unfortunately, a lot of races the shape doesn't quite fit, and that sort of thing happens, and you have horses being ridden outside of what would be their natural tempo. Right? But I try and find horses that are going to naturally fit into a race, that are going to be able to run at a tempo that really suits them, that will allow them to produce their best. You know? So that's the sort of thing. It's a vexed art. It's not a science trying to come up with that, because there's all sorts of little subtle differences. But as it turned out, Radapole found a race where he could run at a tempo that suited him, and he had conserved some energy for the race.
And trying to add up what you just said and the numbers that I've been studying from Vince Cardi over the last 5 years, I think what the elite jockeys do, and they obviously don't try to, they just must have this innate ability to write, I call it right to the numbers, so that when afterwards you'll say, well, geez, that race was slower than it wanted to. Urban Ruler, for instance, a couple of weeks back, they just said, well, we've got 60 kilos, we're going out in the back, the Mark Lambourne thing about it affecting the psychology. And the horse reefs and tears because the leaders walk.
Well, in that case, that horse didn't reef and tear, so they were lucky. I think Urban Ruler. He actually relaxed at the back of the field, which is unusual. Normally, horses that are restrained that far below their natural running tempo will resent it and use a lot of energy. Now, I made the comment last week that they got away with it, and the horse is probably well set up to run well this Saturday.
Yeah, very top.
But normally, doing that can really mess a horse up because it confuses them. They don't.
And so by extension, like let's say Divine Mr. Artie, and again I'm not talking about the most of the time, but Brendan McCarthy said, well, this kid the horse needs to settle back. That's his natural pattern. The kid goes right back to get some cover, and fair enough. That's why. What's the phrase here? They get 3 kilos for a reason.
Yeah.
He overdid it because the horse's natural speed is this, and he went this.
Yeah.
Desperate to slot in.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if it was an elite senior rider, the elite senior rider would have had it there, maybe covering a bit of ground without worrying. That's only one bend to Caulfield, and it would have probably been in the finish. That now to the numbskulls who somehow managed to get paid by the industry to get a living covering this sport so shithouse. That is not a criticism of Brandon Stockdale, but that is saying that an apprentice will ride to a position and an elite rider will ride to the horse's natural speed.
Yeah. And I think
that's fair, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that you've got a situation there where he has ridden very specifically to instructions, whereas when he's on Unique Lovely, because it's family and everything else, he feels extremely confident on that filly, and he rides her exactly as is natural for her. Yeah. So she settled in front of, if not now, whereas at Moonee Valley she settled behind her.
Yes.
And she was travelling in a beautiful spot, and I would say, well done to Brendan. He got Unique Lovely home. That was an inch perfect ride, like to win on her.
So, blokes, and this probably, might marry it all up, but you see some blokes like Douglas White, they're real elite. They'll get off the plane and they'll ride a horse they've got no association with and ride it inch perfect to the numbers and in the race, but also that must be the difference between the elite and the not elite. The fact that you can have that innate skill to judge the animal on what's best for a pace when you've never even sat on it until the trainer leads you on in the mounting yard, that's what genuine.
Well, I would think, I think that a lot of those jockeys they have struggled in Australia under certain circumstances where there's particular, subtleties to that course about how to ride it. They've struggled. So, but at other times they've been, as you say, landed just elite. I think of Joe Moreira on the horse of Waller's that won the Newmarket.
Brazen Bow.
It was just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I accept what you're saying. It's I can't imagine anything more difficult for a jockey.
So we'll wind this part up with one thing I want to say. So what's your jockey at the moment that you think's flying under the radar?
Flying under the radar.
I'll give you mine first. While it's going through your head, I can tell that the punters need to actually just launch on. I will say Luke Nolan. Double again. Is it a double? I tuned out after race 5 yesterday. But double at Sale. His stats versus the market is unbelievable in the country, and I always reckon that if you do it there and you already got that background and you're going to come to the city, and you're doing the hard yards now, it'll transfer. So I'd be bonusing Luke Nolan at the moment. Punters, you?
Yeah, well, I'd be remiss of me not to give my man D Moore a shout out. I've watched a lot of his rides lately. He gets everything out of them. He really does. He positions them really well.
And he flies under the radar market-wise, doesn't he?
Yes, and he's again like if you swapped his book of rides with Craig Williams, I'm sure he'd return similar results because he rides them so well. But the other one I want to mention is Jordan Childs. He's a terrific jockey.
That's the most, and he's not afraid to lead.
Yeah, no.
That's part one. We're going to come back and talk staking on Ralphy and Potts.